Welcome to our channel, where stories of love and passion unfold. Let's embark on an exciting journey into the world of human relationships. At 9 p.m., Bill finally decided to go upstairs to his bedroom. Anna, his gorgeous 26-year-old wife, was getting ready to go out with her friends. He was not happy that she went out with this group of friends last Friday, and he did not want to accept this as a new weekly routine. Anna saw the expression on his face and sighed. "You're not going to be upset about this, are you?" Bill nodded towards the tiny dress laid out on the bed and the sexy blue lingerie she was wearing. She looked so sexy in it. "I've never seen these before," he said. She looked a little confused. "Yeah, I just bought them this week." He thought for a moment, then went into the bathroom, returning with her lingerie from the laundry basket. "So, is this normal for a husband?" He gestured to the very ordinary bra and panties he was holding. "But you happily bought this," he pointed to the small blue bra and lace panties that barely covered her curves, "for some man you've never even met before." He looked at her intently. "Unless," he paused meaningfully, "unless this is just a night out with the girls on the prowl, maybe you actually arranged to meet someone there, like a date." He tilted his head as she looked at him in disbelief. "No," she exclaimed. "There's no one else. How could you think that?" "Well then," he said, ignoring her question and choosing his words carefully. "When I go out with my friends, I never dance with other men, hug them, kiss them, or let them get close to me. How dare you suggest that?" She was angry now. "You suggest that because you know more about my friends than I realize," he replied. "One single, two divorced, and then you to complete the trio. Do you really expect me to believe that when they're looking for casual encounters, they're not trying to drag you down to their level? How dare you judge them?" she said firmly. "I don't judge them," he replied calmly. "They're free to make their own choices, just like you." She looked at him suspiciously. "So you're saying I shouldn't go? How can you call that a choice?" "I'm not saying you shouldn't go out. I'm simply making it clear that I consider it inappropriate behavior for a married woman and that your friends are putting you in situations that will inevitably harm our marriage." She bristled. "Are you seriously suggesting that going out with friends could threaten our marriage?" She sneered. "Don't be so insecure. I always come home to you. Why are you so worried?" "I'm worried because you're the most beautiful woman I know, and you go to clubs with single girls I don't trust. Add to that the excited men and the alcohol, and it's a surefire way to get into trouble." He continued, holding up a hand to stop her from interrupting. "Our marriage is in danger because you think this," he gestured at her near nakedness, "is something your husband should accept without question. Hey, it's too late now. You promised to meet them at 10, and I'm trying to make you late," she continued in the same spirit. She returned to her makeup. He decided to make one last attempt. "You also promised to respect your husband," he said pointedly. "You seem comfortable enough to ignore that promise. Or are your friends' feelings more important than mine?" "What's wrong with you? Don't you trust me?" she bristled. "I just went out drinking with the girls. That's it. Now please leave me alone." He sighed. "It's just that I want to trust you, but I refuse to sit at home every Friday night, wondering if you've taken another step or accidentally flirted with someone." "I would never do that." "You," he interrupted. "Gail was bragging about her exploits on social media last week. She's one of your friends, and that's exactly what she did. How long before you start believing that everything is okay if I never find out?" She just looked at him, speechless. He continued, more determined. "If you want to go dancing, invite me. If you just want to rub shoulders with strangers, then be honest, and we can end it right here." "You're insulting me," she shouted. "No, I'm being honest. I don't believe you're just a fan of dancing and dirty kisses, looking for illicit affection or, worse, a quickie. I'm willing to believe you've never cheated on anyone. But that's the choice I'm making. Stay or go. It's up to you. But remember, you have a choice too. If I go, I can party as much as I want. You won't be here when I get back. That's it." He said it all. He gave it all away. Every chance to understand his feelings, to hear his desire to mend their marriage. She had a choice now, him or them. "Are you kidding?" She was as angry as he had ever been in the 4 years they had been together. "No," he said gently. If you want to dress like your slutty friends and go out drinking and dancing with them every Friday night, that's fine. I'm just telling you that the prospect of me sitting at home waiting for you to come home one night is not how I envision my future. Now, he said, heading for the door, I have work to do. I'll be downstairs when you've made up your mind. She sat in front of the mirror, thinking. She hadn't had sex, but not really. Last week, she'd felt a strong temptation and, to console herself, had made out with a boy, but that was all. And she liked the way men looked at her on the dance floor. It made her feel more attractive. Bill always complimented her on her looks, but he had to. He was her husband. But the boys at the club, they wanted her. They craved her. Bill sat at his laptop, filling out an online form. It was 9:45 when she came downstairs. He looked up. Was she staying or going? She was wearing high heels, showing off her long, slender legs that disappeared into a tight blue dress. He said nothing. Was she going to ask him to dance, or was she going to dance with her flirtatious friends? She still looked uncertain. Then she said, I'm leaving. We can talk tomorrow. He shook his head slowly and turned back to his computer, silently ignoring her. She stood there for a moment, unsure if he was joking. He didn't even hear the front door close as she left. He finished filling out the form, attached the link to an email, and hit send. He went upstairs and threw some clothes into a couple of suitcases. On Monday, he would tell his boss that he had accepted the job offer in Dubai. He hailed a cab and, while he waited, sent a message to his wife's family group. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry you have to find out this way, but Anna has been very clear that she needs more stimulation and change in her life than I can provide. I've emailed her a link to our divorce declaration. It has been an honor to be a part of your family, but I hope you understand why I have decided to no longer maintain contact with all of you from now on. He had one more thing to do, so he went to the printer, took a sheet of paper from the output tray, and wrote something on it. He pasted it over the wedding photo on the fireplace. Then he turned off his phone and went out to wait for a cab. Anna had just sat down at a table at the club and was chatting with Gail when her phone rang. If only Bill had asked me to come home, she said, annoyed. But it wasn't. It was her sister, Karen. Where are you? Karen shouted. Yeah, I'm at the club with my friends, she said defensively. What's wrong? Does Bill know? Karen asked. Yeah, he knows I'm out with my friends. So what's going on? Is he happy? Karen seemed annoyed, but then again, she always had a slight bias toward Bill. No, he's not happy. But I told him we'd talk tomorrow. Good luck with that, idiot. He dumped me. If you don't believe me, check your email. Gail watched in amazement as Anna tried to open the email app on her phone. Even in the dim light of the club, she could see her friend visibly pale. Anna noticed the message was intended for her family. That must have been the reason for Karen's call. Then her phone rang again. Thank God, it's Bill. No, it was her father. What did you say to Bill? Her father demanded an answer. This man treats me like a queen, and I want more. No, Dad, that's not it. I just feel trapped. I need just one night a week, to be myself. I'm at a fucking club. Your husband just left you, and you're going to fucking clubs? Her father asked in disbelief. Her father was clearly furious. He had never swore in front of his family before. What could she say? She was at a club, that much was clear from the background noise. No, Dad? He must have decided something after I left. Dad? Dad? He hung up. Anna grabbed her bag and phone and rushed out the door, completely ignoring Gail and not acknowledging her other two friends as she passed them on the street. She found a cab and was home in 15 minutes. On the way, she tried to call her husband, but his phone went to voicemail, the house quiet and deserted. She took off her shoes and rushed upstairs. Most of his clothes, his shaving kit, were gone. She went downstairs. His phone, laptop, wallet, gone. Back up, his passport was gone too. He had warned her. There was no room for ambiguity. There was no room for misunderstanding. If she left that night, she would come home to an empty house. She knew he hated lying. He had been betrayed in the past by a girl, and he put honesty above all else. He did as he said. Anna went downstairs in complete confusion. An hour ago, she was married. Now they were broken up. In less than a year, they would be divorced, all because she had gone dancing. Then she saw the photo on the mantelpiece. Something was wrong. When she saw what he had done, she felt sick. It was a photo from someone's social media profile. It showed a young man on one knee proposing to his girlfriend. But there, in the background, was Anna, kissing some guy while he was groping her breasts. At the bottom, in big black letters, Bill had written, "Liar." Well, what happened next? Bill went abroad and Anna was free as she had dreamed. Everything that happened after that, the abortion and Anna not having a child 6 months later, Bill eventually marrying a sweet and charming Australian woman he met while sailing in Dubai, are separate stories that may or may not be written. But their story, the story of Bill and Anna, ends there. Story 2, The Trap of Love. As I drove into my street, I slowed down and drove more cautiously. The city council still hadn't fixed the dangerous pothole in the middle of the road, despite my weekly phone calls and letters. Our street was at the base of a steep hill, causing cars to enter at dangerously high speeds, and I worried that an accident would happen one day. Apparently, this issue wasn't a priority, as I never received any response other than, "We are working on it." Maybe I should consider voting for the opposition in the next elections. As I approached the house, I noticed a large car parked in the driveway. I wondered if one of Emma's friends had come to visit her. I was well acquainted with her friends, and they occasionally hung out at our place, so it wouldn't have been unusual, but the car didn't resemble anything her friends would drive. Emma and I had been dating for 4 years and living together for the past year. I knew she was expecting a ring soon, and my plans included giving it to her and making a lifelong proposal. Turns out, instead of that, she was planning to gift me a lifelong memory. I parked in the garage and entered the house, announcing my presence. "Darling, I'm back from work." She was sitting in the living room on the couch with a man I hadn't seen before. I had a very bad feeling about this, but I decided to give her a chance to explain before getting angry. "I didn't know we had a guest. Who is this, Emma?" "Welcome home, dear. Mark, this is Donovan. I think we need to talk." My suspicions were confirmed, and I tried to remain calm, knowing that anger wouldn't help. "What is there to talk about? You both know how this looks, and I sincerely hope I'm wrong about it, and instead, you both have a wonderful explanation." "Well, you see, we've been dating for a long time, and I really want to marry you and grow old together, but I would like to explore some things before we settle down forever. I don't want to reach 60 and regret everything I didn't do, so I want to get this out of my system while I'm still young and unmarried. I've been seeing Donovan for a while now, and I don't want to continue doing it behind your back. I thought it would be fair to tell you. I want to make you an offer so that we can all be happy. Don't you think it would be nice to open up our relationship?" "Open up the relationship? Seriously? What's honest about that, Emma? It's just a mess. I hope you won't take it that way. You understand that by agreeing to this, you'll have the freedom to see other women. But I trust you enough to know that you'll come back to me. I won't pretend that I like it, but for a successful relationship, both partners have to play by the same rules, so I can't deny what I want for myself. Give us a chance, and you'll see how much stronger we'll become as a result. Even if you're not fully convinced now, I'm sure that in a few months, you'll see it as just a minor beneficial shakeup in our relationship. Do you even listen to yourself? You're not playing by the right rules, are you? You have a romance behind my back, and you have the audacity to pretend it's an open relationship so you don't feel guilty about it. A minor shakeup? God, you're insane. Have you always been this foolish, and I just didn't notice?" Donovan started to speak. "Now listen here." "No, shut up. For heaven's sake. This concerns only her and me. Both of you, get out of my house right now. I can't stand your presence." Emma sighed. "I really hoped you wouldn't react like this, but I suspected it might be possible. I've packed a bag with a few things, and I'm going to stay with him for the next few days to give you a chance to calm down. I'm sure you'll understand what it's like for B. Get out." Seeing the anger in my eyes, Emma decided that it was in her best interest to comply with my demands. She grabbed her bag and approached to kiss me, but the rage she saw in my eyes made her change her mind. They both left the house and headed to his car. I walked to the door and, trying to remain as calm as possible, said, "I hope you know that we're done. I'll let you know when you can come by to pick up the rest of your things." I hope you're smart enough to ask someone else for help, as that scumbag is not allowed in my house." Emma stood closer to me, near the passenger seat door, while Donovan approached from the driver's side, facing the road. She tried to make one last plea. "Darling, please don't make any decisions right now. I know you're upset, and I'm sorry to be the cause of it, but I believe that in the long run, this will make us stronger. I'll give you a few days before we talk, and—" Her words were interrupted by the loud sounds of an engine running at full throttle. We watched as a red sports car descended the hill at a speed far exceeding the limit. The deafening noise made conversation impossible, so Emma fell silent, waiting for the car to pass. I observed as the car approached and realized it was heading straight for a large pothole too fast to notice and react to. Diving into the pothole, the car lost control and crashed into Donovan's car on the driver's side, the side where Donovan was standing, waiting for Emma's speech to finish. Her horrified gaze told me everything I needed to know. A smile appeared on my lips. Perhaps I will vote for the current mayor after all. Thank you for your support, and we look forward to seeing you in the next story.